What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more video game music. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep this a pretty rare category. I'm not going to keep doing a lot of it, like every day, but I did want to start by doing at least a couple of them, and then, like I said, might be one a week or something like that. Nevertheless, I did want to listen to a tune from a 16-bit video game, Donkey Kong, the original one, not for, the old school arcade or for the NES, but for the Super Nintendo, the Adventures of Donkey Kong, I think it was called. But basically the game by Rare that was very, very popular. I believe it spawned at least one sequel. I know one sequel for sure. I think there was maybe another sequel. Nevertheless, we're going to listen to a tune from the first game, Donkey Kong Country. That's right, it was Donkey Kong Country, and it's called Aquatic Ambiance. And this tune, I'm trying to remember the year of the game. Let me look it up. I would guess maybe like 94 is my guess right out of the gate. But it amazes me because, I heard this a few days ago, and it's one of the reasons I felt like, I should see if I could get away with some video game reactions, which I say because, I worry that some of these might be blocked by copyright, though if you're seeing it, then I suppose it got through. Nevertheless, this is from 1994, right, so 1994, developed by Rare, published by Nintendo. I'm going to see if it gives credit to the music. David Wise, that's right, I do remember now that name. So yeah, this is a composition by David Wise. He's a British video game composer, born 1967, so yeah, this is a tune from the first game called Aquatic Ambience, and it amazes me how well it holds up, not only because it is now, 27 years later, but also because sonically, it really has a rich, dense sound for being that old and for working with hardware that was, it was limited. It was a 16-bit, a cartridge console video game system, which admittedly, the Super Nintendo did really well when it came to game music in a number of different genres. But this game and its sequel really had some amazing tunes that I think sounded sort of ahead of their time. I've mentioned it before, I don't like that phrase. I'm a historian, things came about when they did, and even if they were in some ways anomalous for that period and place, the reality is it's sort of a denigration of that time to say, well, it was ahead of its time, whatever, that's the time that it came out. Nevertheless, I do think its quality really has stood the test of time, and I really think it achieves the sort of sonic atmosphere it's going for, which is an underwater, you're exploring this place where you're sort of out of your element because, again, whether you're an ape or a human hairless ape, we don't live underwater, and so going down into the depths of the sea where it is dark and there are creatures that we may not know or be familiar with, it can be a sort of mysterious, unsettling experience, and I think that is sort of the atmosphere that this tune hits on. So here we go. This is David Wise from the Donkey Kong Country original soundtrack. This is the 9th tune on the soundtrack, Aquatic Ambience. Really high kind of choral slash string tension with this almost like digital flute, and now we got a percussive groove. The way that like synth pad kind of like flares. Light, like sweet keyboard melody that then kind of like sort of effects on it in that last iteration. All that bass work too. Boom, 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 boom. of that melodic twist. Sort of like almost like a sonar ping if it was instead like hitting a piece of wood, but it has that ping, 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 ping. Really high-pitched ping there. That sort of flared out synth layer, really does a lot for the atmosphere. The way that sort of kind of xylophone keyboardy melody always like fades into the distance. I love that. I think this is the last run through, because video game tracks, especially from older games, it is literally just a loop, right? That high ping melody. Yeah, I think it just fades it. Yeah, it's incredible. As I said, you can't nail the sonic atmosphere you're after much more perfectly than that. Talk about, really hitting an underwater, bit mysterious, fish out of water, except it's more like ape off of land sort of atmosphere. Really just nailed it. And as I said, obviously you can tell that it was working with a limited sort of electronic framework. It's not what a tune would have been in '94 had it been, like a 909 drum machine and then, an acid box and so on. But at the end of the day, I really do think that the quality for what David Wise was working with is unbelievable. So shout out to him, shout out to that game. It really is a cool game, sort of atmospheric. I had a Super Nintendo for a long time, like beyond its shelf life, like into the early 2010s. And I think when I moved one time, there was a whole box of like old school video games, including like a Genesis and a bunch of games, or a Mega Drive if you're in other parts of the world. And the box just didn't come along, or I don't know, maybe it was stolen. Either way, I don't have any of those old school games anymore, but I do have a lot of like emulators on my computer, and then a number of ROMs, including the Donkey Kong games. So yeah, shout out to those games, they're dope. I will come back and react to one of the tunes from the second game, because I think it is as good as this, if not better, and again really hits this amazing ambient sort of atmosphere that is in a way ahead of its time. So yeah, again, shout out to David Wise. Let me know if you enjoy this game or this tune, or any particular game music that you might want to hear reacted to. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. Have a good day, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Peace.